general. So I'm looking to see what Diabolus can get done. If they can win this series, I feel like they're going to be looking extremely good to make it to that top 4 and potentially win the whole thing.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to seeing how Diabolus will perform in this series. It's game number 1 of Wildcard Gaming versus Diabolus.
What is this comp from Wildcard Gaming? What were they expecting to come out of the gates? Looney Mistweaver? I thought this was going to be Paladin Mirror. I was actually curious to see if they would lead off with Blizzo on Windwalker or not, but I guess they will. Good crowd control engagement here from Diabolus, but it's disrupted and shut down by Wildcard. They're still trying to continue it with double Mortal Coil, double Infernal. Great combo, but that Temporal of Morrow was so perfect, healing him right back to full health instantaneously. Still Greater Pyros coming in from Gelu. They stun him up with a Poly onto Clyde. Big turnaround, huge hit onto Gelu. He has to block off the first crowd control of the fight. Wildcard Gaming look impressive in game 1.
Yep, that is Wildcard Gaming, and you love to see it. They stop Gelu's polymorph attempt, and then they turn it back onto him. They get Clyde's trinket in that process, but Morrow is in danger situation here. Looney's in a full fear. No trinket's playing that Relentless, and Morrow, he's going to ice block before his cauterized procs. Now they're swapping over to Looney here. Nice spear and strike here by Blizzo. You're going to get a sheep trying to get a careful out of the ice block here. Mercy is going to land it, but Looney is out of crowd control and able to heal up. Clyde gets polymorphed, but I don't know if it broke or if it got singed there. Yeah, it did get singed, so Mercy is playing that Imp Dispel. And now Blizzo might be able to get a nice double leg sweep here. He doesn't have it for another 10 seconds, but he do force out the Divine Shield here with the raw damage, and they have forced out all of Clyde's cooldowns and all of Gelu's cooldowns, and this is a checkmate situation. Clyde could go down, Gelu could go down, and even Morrow could go down here, Ben.
Definitely. Gelu is actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but Gelu has insanely quick Greater Power Blast, Polymorphs, and Ring of Frost. So he is playing an outrageous amount of haste, and that's probably why we're seeing this game go so fast. Cauterize has already been burned through. His Ice Block not available. Clyde has no cooldowns left, so Gelu's going to be very susceptible, but also extremely scary. Polymorph does go out onto Looney, and Morrow and Blizzo forced to retreat just a little bit. Big Combustion going to get ripped out. Doesn't look like Morrow does have the Kleptomania available just yet, so not going to be able to remove that combustion. Unfortunately, not able to get too much done either. Gelu looking for a Greater Power Blast, one in the sky, potentially a second. Gets interrupted, nicely done there by Morrow, and this game is going by really quickly, but I will say it feels like Wildcard Gaming is slightly ahead right now.
Clyde praying to N'Zoth right now to get that sacrifice off cooldown and Avenging Wrath here. The next crowd control could close the game out here. 5 seconds away from that medallion. They're closing in on top of Gelu. Polymorphs over onto Mercy. Looking to rotate that over. There's the Paralyze. They're going to swap to the Paladin. There's the leg sweep. Beautiful timing. They're still going after Gelu. Clyde breaks out, but into a Polymorph. Oh no, it ends up being broken early. Did it get the spell by an Imp? Gelu's still in a lot of trouble. That Divine Favor sitting up for quite some time. Slips through and stabilizes Gelu. They make it out of that situation with the Gladiator's Medallion of Clyde. Dark Soul and Combustion available. Gelu and Mercy are a big threat right now. Wildcard Gaming getting ready. Looney behind the pillar, waiting for the push, but Gelu instantly blinks Dragon's Breath, Polymorph. Beautiful timing. Morrow's locked down. Morrow could absolutely get annihilated here. Everybody in crowd control. Cauterize triggers. Cauterize looking like it's going to get shredded through with 1 second left on the Polymorph. Oh! Where is the Life Cocoon? Oh my... What? He waited so long. He waited so long. But Morrow survives, and now Gelu on the back foot. Clyde barely able to get the sacrifice slipped out there in between the crowd control effect, stabilizing Gelu. I mean, this could go either way.
That was a really good push there from Diabolus, and this game is wide open, but not for much longer. Clyde's going to be stringing in about a minute. After that, a few Fs later, he probably is going to have his bubble as well, or sacrifice. There it is, double leg sweep from Blizzo. He engages, but Clyde using that Blessing of Protection. Morrow with a beautiful blink counter spell. Can they get the damage they need, though? It doesn't look like it. Morrow's just going to sheep up Gelu here. Nova's him on the Dispel, and now Blizzo is going to just tank a little bit of damage here. No Blessing of Protection on the other side, so he should be completely fine here. Gelu's looking for a Polymorph onto Looney. Looney knows it, and if Morrow drops too low before, while Looney gets Polymorph, that is going to be game over. But right now, Looney's doing a great job just positioning defensively. They push away Gelu from that dangerous, threatening positioning, and Morrow is going for the full sheep now. Counterspells Gelu, and Clyde once again breaks out with the Singe, but there it is. Combustion rolls out. Morrow dispels the Kleptomania. He gets the Dragon's Breath off, but I don't think they have enough crowd control here. That Singe from Mercy's Imp once again saving the day here for Diabolus.
Yeah, definitely. Gelu going for Dragon's Breath Sheep. Can he get it? If he can get the Sheep, it's going to be massive. Unfortunately, the Ring of Peace denies. Good play there by Blizzo, but the Polymorph does land. Now Morrow in a lot of trouble. He's got 4 seconds left on his Ice Block. Can he hold on just a little bit longer? Temporal Shield will be enough for him to survive. He gets topped off. Now with Ice Block back and available for both of these mages, things might slow down just a little bit, but Gelu does get interrupted. Blizzo's all over him. Still, with that haste, going to be very vulnerable. But Gelu's been doing a good job setting up his team. Just those land, and he gets absolutely taken down. Just from Blizzo, a huge hit of damage. Gelu falls. Unfortunately, that Ice Block not going to be found. Wildcard Gaming claims game number 1.
Pretty swift game number 1 victory for Wildcard Gaming here. We should see the replay shortly. Let's talk about that setup from the side of Wildcard, Zico.
I want to talk about when Morrow should have died, and like he
can talk about that too. Go ahead.
he counterspelled. So Morrow was literally like on the brink of death. He counterspells Gelu, then he blinks on top of him, Dragon's Breath him to stop the follow-up CC and to stop the damage, and then Looney comes out of the, and then he temporal shots. Looney comes out of the polymorph with Cocoon ready. His mage is on 1% with no CDs. And this guy is trying to greed the Cocoon, dude. And actually, he might have been able to. He got a couple of heals off, but then he just went for it anyway. And I think that was the right line of play there. And then, of course, in the end there, able to get that nice setup and take the game. I feel like Wildcard, the way they play the setup, it's so nice to watch. Like, the way they played that opener as well. Gelu just blinked in with a billion haste, trying to land the CC, trying to, get his team ahead. They just counterspell him. Blizzo paralyzed him. He trinketed, then he Ring of Peace him to interrupt him. And yeah, it's just really nice how they played that matchup. And here's the final setup. They get a Sheep and a Nova to try to dispel the Singe, and they get another Sheep here, and then they just line it up with all that damage here. Big hits coming in. You got Dragon's Breath as well, and that's it.
Well, what a better person also to have as your healer on that Mistweaver. I feel like even when it wasn't being played quite as often, we still saw Looney playing that Mistweaver, and I feel like his comfortability on that class really shows through Supties.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was using it even at the BlizzCon finals when everybody didn't think that it was necessarily the meta. He's been using it for a long time now. I feel like, how long ago has it been? His BlizzCon win was on Shaman, and that's when he was known as a Shaman for a really long time. Then he had to switch over to Druid for a really long time, and then he's just kind of picked up Mistweaver and still playing it, even though right now I think in at least the wide consideration or the wide opinion of the PvP community is that Mistweaver has fallen down a level or taken down a peg from where Holy Paladin currently is, and he's still making Mistweaver work. So nice to see. However, 12 Run Arena is a pretty big map. I wonder if Wildcard Gaming will blind lock a Fire Mage Ellie on this map, or if they'll continue to play the comp that they played in the first game.
I think my favorite part about Looney is his Twitter handles, like, literally, isn't like Looney BlizzCon champ or something?
Econ champ.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, I
They did! I get a point!
Yeah, they switched it up. So on this map, I wonder if we're seeing a mirror match. Like, I would be happy to see a mirror match. That's what I want to see from game number 1, honestly. I'm kind of surprised that Wildcard Gaming locked this in. However, I mean, Diabolus, maybe they go with the Mage Warlock. I feel like it wouldn't necessarily... Them locking it in blind, I don't think they really anticipated the Windwalker Mage Mistweaver. I could be wrong about that. They probably anticipated Wildcard Gaming to run this, so the fact that they locked in the Paladin, Warlock, Mage blind makes me think that they think it's a good matchup, so maybe they end up going with that. And I wonder if Gelu is going to go with the haste. One thing's for sure, I mean, the haste Fire Mage is probably, for me, one of the most fun things to play in the game, but quite often it's better to just go with versatility. I feel like if Gelu had the versatility, the game, it would have been slowed down quite a bit, but he wouldn't be as susceptible to those one-shots, and they just give their team more opportunities to eventually find that slow win condition. But definitely curious to see if Gelu once again goes with that really, really high haste build. And in Wizard matchups, it's not too bad. So I think when you are playing against the Ellie Shaman Fire Mage, going with that really, really high haste can put you ahead. You get faster polymorphs, faster greater power blasts, and typically you can avoid the damage anyways just by having really, really good positioning and it also allows you to find polymorphs a lot easier. So I think Gelu might stick with that haste, but if we do see it against a melee again, I feel like it would probably be good for Gelu to put on a little bit more versatility.
All right, Looney
I'm gonna be
is
honest
in
with you,
fact. Go.
But tell me.
Gelu is not a dampener, okay? Gelu is one of the bangers on EU. He's not gonna go Versa. He's gonna go damage. He's gonna go either racing pulse or he's
Okay.
gonna go max haste, and he's gonna
Zico.
pump fat damage.
I really like that narrative you're trying to paint right now, but there's been far too many times where I've seen Gelo, Mechanome, Netherwind Armor, 80% versatility. So
I'm not sure what
I
he's
mean,
talking
it's
about.
nice that you say that, but dude, I've inspected him many times, and he plays the versatility more often than not, I would say.
He's
I'm
got
gonna
chocolate
whisper
milk to
right
drink.
now and tell him, bro,
He's here to
they're
win.
calling you a dampener. I'm gonna message him and let him know. I'm gonna
If
get
you
Gelu
also,
to-
if you guys, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
All right, I was
was
just
done,
gonna
pretty
say, if you guys want to see that the gear that Gelu or anybody else in this series is running, it's awc.gcd.tv. But we can talk about Gelu's build for this series. What do we think? What is he running in terms of gears, Zico?
Mechagnome, full dam, full haste.
All right.
That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah. Gelu. What about on the other side here for Diabolus? Or Wildcard game. excuse me.
Mara is going to be a dampener playing Versa 100%. He's on the same team as Looney now, man. Let's be honest here. I think Looney would let him get away with it.
He actually
All right,
did.
we also. You
Wait, he
can.
played haste last game?
No, not in the last game, but do you remember when they played against Waz and Raikou? What happened in that series? He actually did play full haste, and they lost, and it was the fastest series you've ever seen between them.
All right, well, we will find out shortly how it will work out for them in game number 2 here. Wildcard Gaming, 83% win rate on Tolvaran. This is going to be a difficult game for Diabolus here coming up for game number 2. It is Wildcard Gaming versus Diabolus.
Wizard dominance
Pretty soon.
in Tolvaran Arena here, so neither team going to be heavily advantaged in terms of the map advantage, which I think it was wise for Wildcard Gaming to swap off their Windwalker, get the melee DPS out of there when you know that this is going to be a Wizard war. I'm curious to see who's going to cross the center field line first. Is Gelu going to be that aggressive player that Zico believes he is, or is he going to ultimately be a dampener, as Mage Warlocks in their deepest parts of their souls are? You don't think so? You really don't think he's going to dampen?
I think it's actually likely he
Maybe
plays
it's just
haste.
wishful thinking.
I think he will play haste in a Wizard matchup, but I think against a melee, it's risky. It's super, super risky.
Also looks like Wildcard Gaming has 3-0'd Diabolus in European Cup number 4. So they have faced each other before. Maybe Diabolus learned something from that last series here. But what do we think are the odds that they are able to turn this series around, Supatis?
This is going to be really volatile. I feel like this game in particular could be really volatile in terms of it turning around. If Zipai plays Gushing Moons, which I feel like he should, just poke Flame Shocks, Instant Lava Burst, and let Maro tank damage as versatility. If both teams play Haste, this is going to be insane. I don't think... Is Maro... How fast is that Fireball? I feel like that wasn't a Haste Fireball.
That was a for sure Versa Fireball.
Okay. Yalu, let's see how fast his Poly is. They're
Oh,
both
that's a haste
versatile.
poly.
What? It seems
The
so
haste
slow.
volley. It's a quick.
That's a haste poly.
No, it was quick.
What?
Super quick. Gelu definitely, I think he's playing haste, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, Zipai right now getting interrupted. Gelu going for Polymorph. Is he going to manage to find? He's actually playing Dark Iron Dwarf. Ooh, Mercy getting bursted down very, very quickly. That Warlock's going to be really susceptible to the damage incoming from Maro and Zipai. So definitely have to look out. It seems so far like Wildcard Gaming, they're just all over Diabolus. Diabolus does manage to recover off the back of the Avenging Wrath from Clyde. It looks like both these teams are going to stabilize in the early stages of the match.
Stabilize? That
Guess
doesn't
not.
look
Guess
good.
not. They were stable. Come on, when I said it, they were stable.
I was saying this is going to be the most volatile match we've seen. They're swapping to Clyde. They're playing right on top of Diabolus here. Looney into the polymorph. They need to turn it around with this crowd control, but they're not finding damage just yet. Hammer of Justice on Morrow. He's able to escape. Clyde is rotting down to pressure right now. Z-Fi is bullying him. He's trying to line of sight at the pillar and recover. Needs to be careful. Z-Fi could wrap around to the other side. Now a Hex on Gelu, a swap over to the Warlock. Wildcard Gaming are hitting every single target, building a lead in multiple places. This is going to be an absolute nightmare for Diabolus to come back in. Hammer of Justice has to be Divine Shielded. Mercy now into a Lightning Lasso. Gelu into a Dragon's Breath. Crowd control onto the entire unit of Diabolus. This is the Wildcard Gaming that we know and love.
Yeah, so Wildcard Gaming are running, Moro's running a mix of Versa and Gushing, so that's why his cast is slow, and Gelu is actually running full Versa, so...
yeah, we were wrong, both of us.
He's running a lot of Surging Vitality, so yeah, we were definitely wrong. Mercy is going to summon his Imp here, going to singe his healer out of crowd control, and now Moro overextended, Hammer of Justice coming in, but look at Looney, he's going to duck in on the opposite end there, get a nice fat heal, and now Big Damn Judge coming in here on Mercy. Z-Fi looking to get some Gushing procs here onto the enemy team, and now they're going after, no, they're going to go after Mercy to get a full Hammer of Justice onto Clyde, into a full sheep here, and he's going to summon the Imp, so that should get dispelled. He does get Dragon's Breath, potentially into a DR sheep, and Moro finds it. Moro doing a great job so far controlling the match. Looney, though, is also caught up in a sheep, so Moro needs to be a little bit careful with his positioning. Clyde's out of the sheep now with those wings active, so now Z-Fi and Moro are on the back foot. They need to run, make sure that nobody goes down here. Moro doing a great job just polymorphing Gelu. Z-Fi throwing in a Hex as well. Looney should have no problem stabilizing here. He's going to have his wings coming back up pretty soon as well. And it looks like Wildcard Gaming are stable and looking to push in. They get a full sheep here. No Singe available. Let's see what they can get done here, Sid.
Oh, he's in position to Hammer of Justice immediately. Mercy's in a lot of trouble. Huge damage coming in from Z-Fi. Clyde trinkets, uses sacrifice, redirects. Now Z-Pi on the back foot, Looney in a polymorph. Z-Pi is trying to disrupt crowd control, but I don't think he can stay out in the open much longer. Healing Surgy himself back up. Mercy goes for fear. Tremor down. They break Looney out. Vitality Conduit right before the Hammer of Justice. That Hammer of Justice was 1 second faster. I think Z-Pi would be alive right now, but he's going to stabilize with the Astral Shift. Diabolus showing signs of life, but Clyde's in a full polymorph. No way to escape. Mercy's on the run. Z-Pi is hunting him down. If Z-Pi makes it over here, Mercy is going to get crushed. Z-Pi's wrapping around the right. Looney on the left. Mercy is getting closed in. He's trying to line of sight the Elemental, get to Clyde in time, but Clyde's now into another polymorph. Lightning Lasso connects with a full duration. Huge Earthshot. Clyde barely sneaks in a heal, and the Hellstone of Mercy clutches it out. I actually can't believe he greeted the Hellstone that long, but it will stabilize him. Close call, but Mercy keeps it in with calm, cool, and collected decision-making.
All right.
I guess Gelu, he's going to be able to hold on. The haste comes in. Full polymorph does land. It's going to be a trinket sacrifice to keep Z-Pi alive. Gelu once again looking for a greater power blast, but it is really difficult as a fire mage in this matchup. If you are not playing haste, having to deal with counterspell, Dragon's Breath, Grounding Totem, basically everything. Clyde actually getting swamped too and might just get absolutely dropped. He manages to hold on the the Hellstone out of the stun. Does keep him alive, but so far, I mean, Wildcard Gaming, their pressure has looked so good. They're going after Moro. They're going after Gelu. They're going after Mercy. They're going after Clyde in this matchup. It seems like all three members are such a good target, but a full polymorph snuck onto Looney. Moro could be in a little bit of trouble, but Z-Pi just going for hexes, shuts down Gelu, and Wildcard Gaming just seem like they're fully in control, but this might be the Divine Shield. Big hit on Looney. He's actually playing the Safeguard trinket. Safeguard manages to keep him alive, realizing he's going to be vulnerable in those stuns, but that Safeguard trinket allows him to hold on to the Divine Shield, and Wildcard Gaming are looking good and very prepared for this matchup.
Oh, a sheep snuck in onto Clyde. They dispelled the full one. They do get a re though. Gelu loading up a greater pyroblast here. Let's see what they can get done. Maru's looking for some polymorphs, looking for some damage. He has his combustion, so Maru just wants to land a DR sheep basically and just go for the kill. He actually pops the combustion right now. This rotational combustion here, I do like to see that. And Maru is going to get peeled on most of it, sadly. He's not going to be able to find too much damage, but he did generate some pressure. Gelu now blinking forward. It looks like they want to go for Z-Pi here. Hammer of Justice is ready. They go for Looney, actually, with the Hammer of Justice. But look at Z-Pi. Nice lightning lasso. They're trying to shut down some of the damage. But Looney forced into the Divine Shield. Very nice go here from Diabolus. And now Clyde, he has all of his cooldowns back. Gelu has all of his cooldowns. Mercy has all of his cooldowns. And it's Wildcard Gaming on the back foot.
Swapping to the Paladin has paid off excellently here for Diabolus. The defensive cooldowns they used earlier on have rotated. They're back available. They're looking to be in a solid position if they can continue swapping targets. Looney is in a good position, though, to completely avoid that with Clyde across the map. They're just tossing lots of damage into Gelu, disrupting him with wind shears and stuns. And Hex is really just slowing down Gelu's greater powers as much as possible. Gelu's blinking in. Dragon's Breath, where's the Polymorph? He's trying to fake out the interrupts. He gets Shadow Fury, but he is able to secure the Polymorph nonetheless. Hammer of Justice, Mortal Quill, trying to hit the trinket of Zeepai. Zeepai refusing to trade the Gladiator's Medallion, runs into a Ring of Frost. Looney's still locked down in crowd control, trying to wait for that sacrifice potentially, and they do buy time. Sacrifice is up. Zeepai won't die. He's pushing back out. Gelu trying to Greater Pyro Maro while he's feared up. Lightning Lasso disrupts it. Mana about even between both Paladins. 6 minutes, 46 seconds into this game. Dampening continues to mount. Can Diabolus set up that swap to Looney that they were able to earlier on? Right now, Looney is playing a lot more passively, praying to the ineffable truth gods to get that divine shield back off cooldown. In the meantime, Maro is playing more aggressively, landing a polymorph onto Clyde. Gelu getting blasted, Mercy getting cleaved down, multiple targets low on health. Can they keep him crowd controlled on his Avenging Wrath here? They do. Looney sneaks in for a Hammer of Justice, lobbing out a Judgment onto Mercy. Huge pressure on the 2 targets still. Clyde goes for Divine Favor, gets it. His team's still not totally topped off, and his Avenging Wrath just ended. If Wildcard Gaming can keep that momentum, but they're pushing in on top of Looney.
Ooh, Looney here in a lot of trouble, but he does get the preemptive Vitality Conduit actually, so he's not going to take any damage. Pops the wings, Clyde in the sheep, gets singed out by Mr. Mercy, but he does get Reed. Maro looking for the 3rd DR sheep, he gets counterspell, there's Dragon's Breath, no more crowd control, sadly. I think they need to either go for Clyde or maybe have a Hammer of Justice to try to extend the chain there, because every time Maro goes for those polymorphs, he just gets singed by Mercy, but Zeepai's positioning is fantastic. There it is, Looney with the Hammer of Justice. They're going to swap over to Clyde, and they're going to get the Divine Shield immediately. Zeepai is taking a lot of damage, though, as a result of that push. He's going to go for the Hex onto Mercy, shutting down the Fear before it happens. There's a full sheep onto Clyde. Where's the Singe, though? The Imp is right there in the middle of the map, but Mercy not going to be able to use it right now. Maybe he already did earlier on a Frost Snow or something, but it looks like Gelu is going to take a Lightning Lasso here. Maro's looking to maybe push the issue here on that next Sheep DR with his Combustion. It could be a big push coming up here. They lock Clyde. Here we go. Combustion most likely to be ripped. It gets dispelled immediately here by Gelu. Nice reflex there by him. And now he's looking for a Ring of Frost. He's trying to isolate Looney and Zeepai. And honestly, the way Wildcard is playing this positional game is just perfect. They're buying themselves so much time to get Looney's Divine Shield back up, and it will be right now here, man.
Yeah, it definitely will. Having that defensive cooldown is going to be really nice for him. Mercy getting swapped to big Lightning Lasso. Clyde forced to trinket. There's no sacrifice, but it looks like Mercy should be able to survive. The gushing wounds really just ripping into Mercy right now. Big heal coming in from Clyde. And now stable. Diabolus looking to make a push. Hammer of Justice out onto Looney. Do they have the damage? Divine Shield. Looney just going for the Divine Shield right away. Once you get that rotated back, Mercy actually getting hit. Clyde with no Divine Shield, no Trinket. If he gets caught in crowd control, Mercy could easily fall. Yellow just looking for greater Power Blast. He gets grounded. He gets hexed. And still, Wildcard Gaming continue to push Mercy, forced to use the Unending Resolve. A full Polymorph lands onto Clyde. Great crowd control by Maro. The Polymorph ends. And now actually Maro just trying to shut it down, realizing, you know what? We got what we wanted. We got the Unending Resolve. We need to just play it safe. Throwing out Polymorphs on Mercy. But that was definitely a great push there by Wildcard Gaming.
Diabolus and Wildcard Gaming are looking evenly matched in the Wizard War. Neither Paladin has a Divine Shield to save themselves or get out of crowd control. Mercy in a lot of trouble here. Nether Ward gets stripped off. Lightning Lasso connects. Huge damage out by Wildcard Gaming. And they're going to move to match point.
Now 2-0, Wildcard Gaming versus Diabolus here. They are really struggling in this series on the side of Diabolus. Wildcard Gaming just looking so clean as a team, Ben.
I mean, they definitely are. Wildcard Gaming, I'm really surprised what they locked in game number 1, to be honest with you. Ended up working out for them. Game number 2, their Elemental Shaman Fire Mage, it looks phenomenal. I think all 3 of them are stepping up in a big way. Maro had great crowd control. Zeepai, really, really good interrupts onto Gelu throughout the match, also helping set Maro up with these really nice lightning lassos. And Wildcard Gaming just look like they're firing on all cylinders with a well-deserved 2-0 lead in the series.
Do you think that we'll see Jamie come out on the Ellie Shaman, Zico?
No chance.
Or do you want to see
mirror
Ellie?
them.
No chance?
I'm always down to watch some mirror games, don't get me wrong. I just feel like that's not going to happen. Like, it's too risky. I feel like if you're on the side of Diabolus, you want a comp that you feel confident can win, and then
Like-
on maybe a map where you're going in blind, maybe there you can try to go for the mirror. But when you have the double advantage, I think you have to try to go for a counter. I don't know about like the Warlock Ellie or something.
I just wanted to say, like, look at the scoreboard. I mean, Gelu, I feel like Gelu kind of had it backwards in these two games. Against the melee, the Windwalker Monk, I think he should have played the more versatile build and like more versatility. But against casters, you need the haste. I mean, look at how shut down he was. I mean, outside of his big combustion goes, the greater power blasts, they're just getting shut down over and over. He's getting thunderstorm, he's getting ground, he's getting wind shear, he's getting hex, he's getting counterspell, he's getting polymorph. There's just so many stops that Maro and Zeepa have available. It's a nightmare to try to get off those 3.5 second greater power blasts. I feel like you need the haste, I don't know. I feel like if he's not playing haste, this is just a losing matchup for them.
Maro actually got CC'd more than Gelo as well, but he still doubled his damage.
So then what do we want to see from Diabolus if they want to try and turn them around? We don't want to see Ellie come off onto that Jamie come onto that Ellie Shaman, it sounds like. What then is the next move here on the side of Diabolus Super Tees?
I mean, they could do the same thing again on Asha mains, or they could do Rogue Mage Pally. I feel like Rogue Mage Pally, if you've got a good map for it, like you should be able to even just run down Looney. So maybe they bring in Jamie on Rogue for one win, like set up a really good RM Pala map. So it doesn't even really matter if you're running an alt Rogue for that specific matchup, and then they have to lock blind Ellie Mage for the rest of the series, or Ellie Warlock for the rest of the series. I'm trying to think if there's anything Wildcard Gaming would have that immediately punishes something like Ellie Warlock.
So you'd rather see
Windwalker Mage.
Jamie on Rogue than a mirror match?
For this particular game, I don't think they're going to do it with this map. There's no way. They're going to do the same thing, I think. They're either mirroring or they're doing the same thing. Okay, I guess there's three outcomes. They could Ellie Warlock, get Jamie in, or Mage Warlock mirror, or just run the same comp that they ran. Maybe they felt they played too passively, because there was one point where they were getting everything from Looney, and then they just decided to chill and not really push the issue and close the game. I think if they just pushed it and closed it, they might have been able to win by killing Looney earlier.
Wildcard Gaming locking in their composition here. A couple of speculations from you guys on what we think Diabolus is going to play. Let's say that they do play the same comp that they've been running with for game 1 and 2 here, Ven. What would you want to see them maybe change up in terms of setup or focus target against Wildcard?
I want to see Paladin goes.
I think Paladin goes are good. I really think haste is necessary, and so I'd really like to see Gelu play more haste if it is a wizard matchup. Otherwise, I think he's just going to struggle too much to get out damage, and the damage is going to be really, really predictable. But going after Looney felt like definitely solid options. Him playing the safeguard kind of shows you that Looney is afraid of that. The Paladins that are running Ineffable Truth, it makes you really susceptible to those big all-ins. So got to be scared of those. And I think Diabolus might be able to capitalize a little bit more on that.
Zico, it sounds like you want them to go off after Looney.
Well, I don't want them to have Looney as like the only target, but look to swap to Looney again. If he's ever out in the open, try to Hammer of Justice him, just dump your instant damage on him, see what happens. Zeepa and Maro did a really good job, peeling with hexes, off heals, grounding, and everything like that. But I really feel like Diabolus, the only time they were ahead in the previous match, if we're seeing Mage Warlock again, was when they went after Looney. They have a lot of lockdown, so I think if they can push in, get an Infernal Stun, double Mortal Coil, Hammer of Justice, they could easily set up a kill like that onto Looney. And if they can do it a couple of times, they could definitely win like that.
Is this a good map for that then here on Ashmain Spa?
Really?
I think you can swap to the healer on any map. It's all about having pressure. If, let's say Maro pushes in and you do a bunch of damage to Maro, Looney's going to have to follow him. And when he does, if you swap to him, it doesn't matter if it's on Dalaran Sewers or if it's here. I would say it's harder to be in range of swaps on a large map. So it's going to make it a little bit harder. But But as long as you're not just tunneling the healer and running after him, they're not really going to benefit that much from the map. As long as it's, you're hitting somebody and then swapping to him rather than chasing him around.
Did you say something, Suptis? You said you don't like this map?
I feel like it's not that great for going on healers. If Looney wants to stand as far away as he can, he can. I just feel like Wildcard Gaming, their Wizard Cleave with the build they're running with that mix of gushing, they just have more instant damage ticking the whole time. Whereas if Gelu and Mercy aren't getting cast off, they're just passively falling behind in terms of DPS. And then you can create this window where gushing wounds get somebody down lower health and you go for Lightning Lasso and you've just suddenly got a kill off of it. So I like that Wildcard Gaming are kind of experimenting. So it's not really an experiment for Zeepai so much since Elemental Shamans commonly run gushing, but Maro, instead of running just full haste, has some gushing mixed in. And I think having that double dot proc is actually allowing them a lot more consistent pressure overall in this specific matchup. So I'm wondering if Gelu wants to opt for difference. I mean, you definitely don't think he should be going the versatile build this time around, but maybe even he should mix in some gushing to get a little bit of instant cast damage. I guess I wouldn't synergize that well with the Warlock. Maybe the haste is just the better option. I just want to see the Fire Mage Warlock more aggressive. It felt like when they were going toe-to-toe at that one pillar, they were getting ahead on Looney. And then when they were playing the space game, they were actually falling behind, which is really weird because you would think that the casting wizards want to be in the open, but the way that it looked was that they were winning when they were just standing on top of Looney.
All right, well, match is starting. The gates will be opening soon here. Diabolus, 67% win rate on this map. We'll see if it's their lucky ticket. It is Wildcard Gaming 2-0 against Diabolus.
All right, game number 3 here is underway. This is the match point here for Diabolus. And Diabolus have been that kind of, I would say, the third dark horse of the tournament. Ooh, Maro gets immediate blinking away there because Gelu does land a sheep. Zeepai in a lot of trouble here to get the Ring of Frost as well. Zeepai taking massive damage, and Looney is going to trinket, use that sacrifice right there. Zeepai also used his dwarf ratio right there, so a very, very minor overlap coming through, and now Looney looking for the double blind, and he is playing the blind now. Maybe a potential sheep or a Ring of Frost coming out here. They get the sheep onto Clyde, and Clyde is going to trinket out of that one, use his sacrifice. So both teams trading evenly here in the opening stages, but Zeepai randomly have to use his Astral Shift in the midst of that exchange as well. So they're definitely pressuring Zeepai extremely hard in this matchup, and the positioning of Diabolus is really good right now. I think they need to push Gelu away from their side. They need to line of sight Mercy and just hit Gelu until he actually leaves that area. They get a full sheep onto Looney, Hammer of Justice onto Zeepai. Gelu is the one taking the damage right now though. Do they have anything to follow up? Zeepai is going to trinket the Mortal Coil and just line of sight here. Going to be topping himself up. And I think he grounds the Greater Pyro there onto Looney as well. So a really nice defensive play there from Zeepai, but he has no cooldowns. The next sheep... Wait, Looney has no bubble. They're literally going to win on the next go here. And they just forced out the Ice Block there on Gelu.
Yeah, and Gelu is playing full haste, and it is looking a lot better for him in this matchup, able to get out those Greater Power Blasts and those really, really fast Polymorphs as well. Let's see what they can get done. Gelu finds a full Polymorph. Gelu now looking for a Greater Power Blast, potentially on Zeepai. Maybe actually going to be going after Looney as well if he can. Greater Power Blast in the sky. Who's it going to hit? Gets grounded once again. Zeepai with great denial in the match. Now Gelu could be in some trouble. Temporal Shield is rolling. That should be enough to keep him alive. Spamming out the Polymorphs as well. Lightning Lasso on Mercy. Gelu blinking in, getting an interrupt on Zeepai, looking for a Greater Power Blast. Can he find it? And it is very obvious at this point that they do want to go after Looney. Looney repositioning and running away, trying to avoid any damage that comes his way. But one thing is for sure, Wildcard Gaming is a little bit scared in this position.
All right, let's see if they can buy time. 3 more seconds to that Gliders Medallion. Looks like Maro has bought them enough time out in midfield. They're still trying to push for it. Looney's trying to avoid it with that freedom. Gelu is a bit falling behind. If Clyde gets caught in crowd control, it could be devastating. Triple Dragon's Breath out from Gelu. Clyde into a half-dimensional Trim Polymorph. Looney into a Hammer of Justice. Another swap to Looney. He immediately uses the Gliders Medallion. Coiled on the Trinket. Mercy nailing him with a Chaos Bolt there, but not able to find a follow-up. Zeepai falling behind out all of a sudden. Big swap over to Zeepai. Astral Shift. He ducks for cover at the pillar. Looney out of Polymorph, looking to reconnect with his Elemental Shaman. Getting line of sighted on the Divine Favor a bit here. Looney goes for the big heal, finally getting it. Mana not really a problem, I think, for both these teams, at least for a long time. Mercy getting blasted. Gushing Wounds, I think, is just killing him around the corner. Lightning Lasso over onto Gelu here. Mario trying to help as well. Temporal Shield's going, but he only has Cauterized. Clyde sneaks in a big kill with Avenging Wrath. Looney polymorphed out in midfield. They're going after Z-Pi. They Frost Nova Z-Pi. They're really trying to hold him back here. Gelu gets blasted, though. Sacrifice Trinket has to trade on the side of Clyde. Mercy has Dark Soul. This has been back and forth. But do remember, this is match point. No Divine Shield for 10 more seconds. Greater Pyro is in the sky. Gelu drops a Meteor, but Looney survives the stun. Vitality Conduit's up, redirecting a ton of healing onto himself for free. Gelu now in a Lightning Lasso. Because Looney survived, I think Gelu's going to be in a lot of trouble. Clyde needs to get ready here.
Oh, what can he do here? He gets out of the crowd control. Clyde looking to stabilize his teammates here. And now he gets caught up in DR sheep. He does get singed out of it though. Looney now in a full sheep. Maro, what are you going to do? He has the Cauterize and he might trigger here. Activates the Temporal Shield. He blinks out of line of sight of Mercy and he does survive without having that Cauterize trigger. Looney used his sacrifice. He might be looking to swamp the Looney. Getter gets 1 Greater Pyroblast, 2 Greater Pyroblast. Big damage here onto Looney, but the big Divine Fave is going to save Looney today, and now we are going to see Z-Pi load up the Stormkeeper. You got Gelu dropping the Ring of Frost around the corner. They're cornering all of Wildcard Gaming. They're looking for Morrow, and I don't know if he's going to survive this. His Cauterize is the only defense left, but Z-Pi is throwing out a lot of heals there, saving the situation. And of course, that Vitality Conduit now double blind comes out. Do they have follow-up? Morrow's going for the sheep. He gets feared on it. Mercy just doing anything he can to shut him down. He gets the Hammer of Justice though, and now Morrow's going to go for the sheep, but it's going to get singed by the Imp. No, he actually bubbles it, and that means it's time to run away. If you are on Wildcard Gaming, they're looking to stop the Morrow. Procs his Cauterize, links behind the pillar, might just die. Okay.
Wow. That matchup looks so much better for Diabolus. Honestly, just that haste adaptation coming in from Gelu allowed them to get out so many polymorphs. It made Diabolus a lot more unpredictable in the matchup as well, which I really liked. So really well played by them. And now that they're able to pick up that victory, we get to go to a situation where Wildcard Gaming gets to pick their composition as well as their map. And I'm really curious to see what they try to set up.
Small map,
Do we think
Windwalker
that-
Mage.
Small map Windwalker Mage, is that what you said, Sid?
I think that's what they'll go for after winning the first game. I just like that Diabolus played that matchup more aggressively, and they were able to win playing aggressively because they felt like they were in a winning position in the last game doing that, and then they just played more passively, and it slowly fell apart. So now that they've got this aggressive strategy, I think Wildcard Gaming should consider changing their composition. And they'll have a couple of maps to work with, so it's not like it'll be the end of the world if it doesn't.
With that adjustment on the side of Diabolus, is Wildcard Gaming just going to be able to easily adjust to that, though? Or is that something that they can maybe carry to a Game 5 on the side of Diabolus, Eco?
Well, you remember the prophecy? It's either a 3-0 or a Game 5, so we're definitely going to Game 5.
True.
Seeing how Diabolus won that one. All jokes aside, though,
And you're never wrong.
I mean, drip, right? I do think on the side of Diabolus, they have some really good comps. I think if I was Diabolus, keep blind locking the Mage Warlock and just try to play to your advantage. If you see a small map blind locked, it's going to be a little bit tricky because you're probably going against Fire Mage Windwalker. But I think on the side of Diabolus, this is their comp, and it's all about mid-game adaptations. Mage Lock is just one of those comps that stands a pretty solid chance against most comps in the game.
And now, since Wildcard Gaming did lose that last one, it is their map choice. Sid, you think that they're going to go to a small map. What do you think that means in terms of composition for them? Are they going to swap it up here?
I want to see the Windwalker Mage again. I'm just trying to think what would be the best small map. I don't think Hook Point would be that great. Probably Dalaran. Like Dalaran and then Windwalker Mage. They could even play Mistweaver again. Surprisingly, I liked the Mistweaver. Just crowd control that can't be dispelled by the Imp with the Paralyze, I think was looking really good for them. And if they play their setups like they did in Game 1, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to pull it off again. What would Diabolus play if they saw Windwalker Mage, though? Because they don't have to play the same thing. They could play Destro Ellie instead and try and be really tanky. Gelu could also just play Versatility. Maybe it's like a bait. Maybe Gelu played Haste in that game to bait them into thinking they can win that matchup, and then he's going to play Verse in the next time, and it's not going to work. That's like
what about you,
super
Ben? You
mind
want to
game.
make any predictions for this upcoming game?
I think it's hard to say. I mean, for Wildcard Gaming, I think both of the compositions that they could potentially lock in could win, but I think for Diabolus, I don't know if I
Mage
really
Warrior?
like this, to be honest with you.
Are they gonna?
Maybe. I feel like, honestly, as a Mage Lock Paladin, you don't mind this map. Like, this map is actually really, really good. It's going to allow Gelu and Mercy to get out lots of crowd control, lots of damage. Wildcard Gaming, maybe they want to set up some sort of like trampoline cleave.
Yeah, it's definitely
They
double
do
monk.
play the double ring of peace. So
Definitely
we could see double
monk.
ring of peace here, and that would give kind of a positional advantage to Wildcard Gaming, but I don't really mind this map. I do think, though, what I would love to see, if we see Wildcard Gaming lock in Windwalker, Mage, Mistweaver, or Paladin, whatever they're going to play, I think Gelu, if it's not against Wizards, he has to play full versatility, and I think that's really going to limit the options that Wildcard Gaming has in the match to actually close it out. And I would actually predict that Diabolus might actually end up winning this one if Wildcard Gaming isn't careful.
And if Wildcard Gaming, they do lock in a sort of trampoline cleave, what sort of difficulties is Diabolus going to face here? Are they going to have any difficulties here in terms of positioning on Blade's Edge? Zico?
Well, they're gonna just abuse the knocks. I think the goal, if you lock in like a LA Shaman, is just you want to have like, let's say if you're looking at the bridge right now, in the middle of the bridge is Zipai. To the left side you got Gelu, and on the right side you got Clyde. Gelu is pushing in, trying to get crowd control. In a situation like that, if you can knock Gelu towards like the starting room, for example, he is going to be so far away from Clyde that you can set up a big burst, or you can knock away Clyde to a similar position, and then you can set up a big burst on the DPS. It's all about basically making it so that the healer gets knocked super far away behind the DPS gets knocked away from his own healer and into a position where your team can still hit him. That's basically the goal of those knocks, and they are going to be playing Fire Mage, Windwalker, Mistweaver, so they're going to be having those monk ports that can jump down and then teleport back up. And they're going to have 2 rings of peace as well to knock people down with.
Is Diabolus... Is this their best comp then? If that's what Wildcard Gaming's strat is, was this a good response once we saw that they locked in Blade's Edge here, Supatis?
I mean, I think that they wanted to set up some sort of Mistweaver Windwalker, so Blade's Edge is where they like to go against double caster because you can stack them up more easily into like the narrow quarters on top of the bridge. Usually the spell cleaves end up having to run along the outside of the map. This map is really good for monks. If they want to play spell cleave on the bottom, then use portal up top. So it's a really good monk map. I'm curious to see how they execute on the double ring of peace. If they have solid crowd control like game 1 and Gelu's not playing versatility, I feel like they're going to take this pretty easily. If Gelu is playing versatility and they're able to navigate the outside of the map, I could see potential here for Diabolus to go to a game 5.
Yeah, we can also see here Wildcard Gaming, their current stats for all of the compositions here, 83% win rate, 100% win rate with the Warrior, Enhanced Shaman, Holy Paladin. It's been a while since we've seen Enhanced Shaman too with Zipai there, Venriki.
It definitely is. I mean, that was one of the compositions that they run to exclusively counter Jungle Cleave. I think it was a pleasant surprise for them even. I remember Looney tweeting out he was so excited that they could finally play jungle and it was turbo time and all that good stuff, but unfortunately outside of just against the jungle and even against the jungle they haven't been opting to run it, so maybe not feeling super confident in the enhancement shaman, but it just kind of shows you that Wildcard Gaming, I mean, they're such a flexible team, they have so many different comp options. They're opting to actually lock in the Windwalker, Fire Mage, and Mistweaver like we saw in game number 1 against the Mage Lock Paladin, and we'll have to see what Diabolus is going to be able to get done.
Big start here on Gelu. Paralyzed on Clyde, Poly on Mercy, 3 versus 1. He Temporal Shields, Fist of Fury still going at it. Not enough time. Gelu's Temporal Shield immediately healing himself back to full. Greater Pyro number 1. Greater Pyro number 2 gets counterspelled, knocked off the side. Definitely good value on that Ring of Peace, knocking both Mercy and Gelu. Clyde tries to reposition to help them out, but now he's out in the open for Polymorph. Maro tries to slip it through, doesn't find it. Clyde repositions back upstairs, waiting for Mercy to get there as well, but now they're stacked up for a double leg sweep. This is a beautiful use of the map here. Looney rolls up as well to try and support, but Gelu was able to escape. Stabilized by Clyde, but it did cost the Gliders Medallion and the Sacrifice a major set of cooldowns out of the way. Diabolus are trying to turn it around. They stun up Maro out in midfield. They polymorph up Looney. Great crowd control onto Looney. Temporal Shield activates. They knock Gelu off the side to stop the follow-up polymorph. This is a great map so far for Wildcard Gaming. I love that they're abusing it like this.
Yeah, I think on the side of Diabolus, they should maybe look to try to take down Looney at some point. But right now, it's not the easiest thing here. They're going for a setup here. Big damage with the combustion. Mario's going for the DRC. Can he get it in time? And they will. And it does get singed, but it doesn't matter. They force out the ice block. They got the objective. They already forced out Clyde's trinket. And now they're hitting Mercy. Dark Soul is active. Mercy's looking to get aggressive here. Fears out Blizzo. Can he get something on Looney? Gets another fear onto Blizzo. Looking for some Chaos Bolt soon here. There it is. One's going to go out. Two's going to go out. Big damage here onto Maro, but he is going to get healed like it's nothing by Looney on that Mistweaver, just channeling out the renewing mist and everything. And now we are going to see them once again look to push in aggressively here. Blizzo gets polymorphed, Maro gets Ring of Frosted, and they are trying to set up another Greater Pyroblast here. They do get the full sheep here, and the Paladin is out of line of sight of the imp, so he can't get singed. He has to bubble. They force out the Cauterize as well. This game is in checkmate right now, then, for Wildcard Gaming.
Yeah, Wildcard Gaming is doing a fantastic job. Diabolus is going to be in a lot of trouble. Go throwing in some polymorphs as he gets interrupted on the Greater Pyroblast, but super vulnerable on that mage right now. Combustion almost available for Maro. There's almost nowhere to run and hide. One Dragon's Breath does land from Maro onto Gelu to shut down the Greater Pyroblast spam. And now Blizzo and Maro are looking to get aggressive. If they can get a polymorph onto Clyde, and it doesn't get singed, it's going to be danger time here for Gelu. Maro just throwing out a combustion, just doing as much damage in the matchup as he possibly can. Gelu going to be interrupted now. Full polymorph land. It does get singed. Touch of Death's rolling though. They might be able to just kill Gelu through everything. This Touch of Death is going to hit so very hard. Blizzo, does he have the damage? It looks like Gelu should be able to survive. Sacrifice coming in from Clyde. And Diabolus do manage to hold on a little bit longer.
They almost knocked Clyde off the side of the bridge before he could use that Trinket Sacrifice. They're trying to set up here onto Blizzo, 3 versus 1. Huge setup. They really need to get something big here, but they're not. Blizzo just ports back. Great use of the map here by Wildcard Gaming on match point. Polymorph, is there an Imp Singe? There is. They need another Polymorph. They get it. They need more than this. They have a leg sweep. Looney's rolling up here. They leg sweep Clyde on the bop. Can they get the bop removed and canceled? No, they switch targets. They go after Mercy out of nowhere, swapping to the Warlock. Clyde barely recovering here with the Avenging Wrath. Dark Soul's up. 1 Chaos Bolt, 2 Chaos Bolts. Slapped over tomorrow. Mercy still a bit on the back foot, though. Blizzo gets feared. Mercy trying to take control. Mercy gets knocked off the side. Clyde, you have to wait for him to get back up, but no hurry. Maro blinks the Greater Pyro. Gelu blinks in for the Poly. Looney's locked down in crowd control. Mortal Coil connects, Chaos Bolt follow-up. Gelu can't get another polymorph, though. Looney now stabilizing the team. Full poly on Clyde, singed away into another poly. Love that timing. Combustion pop from Maro. Really trying to push in here onto Gelu. Dragon's Breath on the follow-up. Is there anything out of the Dragon's Breath? No, but it's not even needed. Wildcard Gaming absolutely explode Gelu in game number 4.
That is going to be a 3-1 victory for Wildcard Gaming here in this series. That's going to add another win for Wildcard Gaming in the round robin format for this tournament. Let's talk about those final moments there, Ben. What was Wildcard doing